week meeting the students.
Hi guys, how's pretty good. How are you guys?
In the middle of student housing, just blocks away from McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario, Lift Church Discipleship Center is a hub for planting campus churches for students seeking Jesus while away at school.
It's an interesting balance of a need for independence and a need for them to be able to figure things out on their own and ask the questions that they need to ask while not being totally isolated. And so that's a unique balance that I think particularly in their first semester of first year, Christian students are trying to balance and trying to figure out how do I stay faithful to my faith when I'm being confronted with new ideas and new lifestyles that maybe I haven't experienced before, while staying rooted in a Christian community.
When I was coming into university, I approached my faith very individualistically. I didn't really see the need to discipleship and accountability, so I kind of just sought out the Lord and just the Bible and my own prayer time. And then outside of that, you could never tell I was a Christian.
When I came to the University of Guelph, I initially told myself that I would continue practicing Roman Catholicism. I had a plan in mind to continue attending church. There's a basilica downtown in Guelph, and it was in my head. I'm like, I'm going to keep going. And I went probably for one Sunday, and at that point, I just completely stopped going. And then once the semester picked up, I didn't end up going back. It was just things got busy. Navigating first year, I will be transparent. It's obviously a big transition. So I just didn't end up going back.
What do you guys have planned for the fall?
Probably one of Paul's letters. I feel like are the most applicable. Probably throw in the gospel too. I think it just really depends on what our simple church chooses to do, because we're still in the process of dividing up our missionaries so that
really what we do is we really try and get students connected into our small groups, which are called simple churches in our context. And what that does is it gives them an environment where they can create deep relationships with other believers who can navigate kind of those first months of school and being away from home together in a community. And so we really try to present opportunities for them to find a place to belong, and to find a community where maybe they have questions that they need to ask that they haven't had the opportunity to ask yet, or maybe they just need to be encouraged in their faith. That's a really important part. And so we really try to emphasize that every student have someone discipling them directly. And so that's really a big focus of ours in terms of trying to help students grow in their faith while they're at university.
How's your simple church been throughout the summer?
Simple church has been great, yeah. I'm starting to pass off the baton to an apprentice, and it's been great to just see how she's rolling with the role. With Lift Church, I find that they gave us some practical approaches and said, here are some resources and here are some ways that you can structure your life to be able to live it according to God's will for you. And just being able to practice those daily and just see how my life has transformed from one version of itself to another has been really eye-opening in a good way.
I really went for the social atmosphere, but as I continued to go more consistently and understand the weight of why we do Bible study together and why we gather as a whole church on Sundays and serve downtown, understanding the whys behind all those activities made me realize, I have to have a specific heart posture towards all these things so that I can grow in my faith. I'm not just going for the sake of interacting with people. I'm a tool that God wants to use to further the gospel.
I like meeting new students and hearing their stories, and I always think it's interesting seeing first years in September compared to first years in January. Yeah. They seem like different people. They grow so much.
I think the advice I would give to find somewhere to serve, find a Christian community that you can say, I'm here for 4 years, and I want to be rooted and planted here so that I can grow, but also so that I can contribute to the kingdom. I think if students go into university with that mindset, and of course with the mindset of doing well in school, it will really help them flourish. We see very strong correlation between students who are willing to give of their time and put the kingdom first with success in school. And so I would say find somewhere to contribute, find a community to belong to, and really, don't view the 4 years as a small moment in time. View it as where the Lord's placed you right now, and really, dive in with both feet.
Get involved on your campus. Check out the different resources that are there. There are so many different clubs, just people out there willing and ready to support you in your journey, and that includes religious clubs as well, and churches on your campus, and taking a step of leadership too.
I would say, find community. University is a time where isolation is the biggest thing that will, hurt you. And it's easy to silo yourself and think that you're a victim of your circumstances and you're the only one going through what you're going through. But the reality is, every single person is going through the same thing, and community is exposure to see that at the end of the day, there's love for everyone. And especially in church community, we see that the gospel is what invites that love and that fullness of life.